Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. This time it is time for, or it is Gaim for, wait for it? There we go. Gaim for some Kamen Rider news. We've had a lot of Ranger related news. Probably I still have a few more things on the way. But there was some pretty significant-ish Rider news to talk about, which was the new quarter toy scans, which revealed to us some cool new Rider forms. Well, cool being defined loosely depending on what your tastes are. But to start off, the main event is Grand Zi-O, basically his final form, which is like this golden form that has little statues of all the Heisei Riders all over him. And then you have like the Ride Watch, which looks like, almost looks like a Ride Watch flower with all the little forms spreading out. To be honest, I'm not too hot on this. Mainly because, you know, obviously I knew they weren't going to use Zi-O for his final form because we saw that at the beginning. They're going to want to sell new toys, more excitement and stuff like that. But I always kind of assumed that his final form might be on that wavelength. You know, like an opposite of it or similar to it but different. Just to sort of counter like, oh, he changed the future. Or maybe he has to face down Zi-O again one day. And because I really like the Zi-O suit. And so I was hoping it was going to be like that. Because I thought that was a cool evolution of it, instead of the classic Rider tumor amalgam. And since one of Zi-O's gimmicks is literally just old Riders, instead of like Build last year where he had all the bottles going everywhere, he's got all the, you know, the people everywhere. Like, there's aspects of it I like I think the golden statues look kind of cool, and like, I wouldn't mind this form just existing, but I just, as the final form, like, I miss when final forms were like really cool new forms instead of just, oh, let's just put the gimmick everywhere all day like a Christmas tree. So I'm not too hot on it, if I'm being honest. The other one is Zi-O Trinity Form, which is not, I mean it is, but it's not in this case a villain of Tomb Raider, a villain group of Tomb Raider, but it's like a fusion of the core three Riders, Zi-O, Gates, and Woz. You can see their arms, like, or their shoulders have the heads on them. That sounds disturbing. The masks or the helmets kind of reminds me of the way that you see the ones on Den-O Climax form. And that Ride Watch, I mean, it looks different. Like, it's different than like a standard one. I gotta go for standard one with DK, but it's like less loud than the grand one. There we go. This form, I don't know what to make of it. I'm also not too hot on it. I don't have as strong of an opinion about it as Grand Zi-O because there's not as much circumstance around it. I think it'll be interesting to see what they're going to be using it for and all that. I think the helmet kind of looks interesting. It's weird because if you watch my Zi-O reviews, I was kind of theorizing about when new Woz, Rider Woz, came to Gates and was talking about how he's going to use the future Rider's power to, you know, become the savior. I assumed like, oh, maybe Gates' next upgrade is going to be a fusion of all three future Riders. And then there's this thing, which has nothing to do with the future Riders, but it is a fusion, but it's a thing that is happening. Speaking of future Riders though, Woz is getting another future Rider form based off Kamen Rider Ginga, I believe it was called. And it actually has different form changes within him, but it's just different colors. Like, the guy with the little saucer hat looks kind of fun and adorable, and it's probably, you know, reuse of past suits. It doesn't look too, I mean, none of the suits for Woz look that different. I think it was Quiz the one that looks the most different, but they don't look as different as like the Ride armors or anything like that. But yeah, some kind of cool stuff since we got some significant forms for Zi-O this time instead of just little tidbits we already knew about. Like I said, I'm not too hot on Grand Zi-O. We'll see how it plays out in the show and all that and how the sounds work. Trinity, I'm just kind of, I don't want to say confused about, just I'm, you know, not sure what to make of it, and, you know, the next future Rider thing is whatever. Even though these powers are based off of future Riders that were specifically created in this show, I still would like to see, even if it's in a movie, Woz be able to do stuff like Aqua or New Den-O. I think that would be neat. But anyway, as always, I will keep you posted if any more news hits. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, entering that bell to get notifications for more news and toy reviews. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.